What's up, guys? So I've got a quick aside for you. I want to look back at the 1996 film Primal Fear. Primal Fear, terrific film, one of my favorites of all time. Introduced Edward Norton to the world, and in fact, Edward Norton, in his first major feature film, nominated for an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Ultimately lost to Cuba Gooding Jr. for Jerry Maguire. Regardless, film is terrific, totally worth seeing, and it's just one that I'd like to share, like to rewatch for fun myself, because it's got some twists, it's got some layers, it's got some really amazing performances. But I want to focus in on sort of a scene that always struck me as weird. There's a moment in the film where things have kind of gone sideways, and the lawyer played by Richard Gere, he's looking for new ways to kind of muddy the waters. He wants to kind of refocus attention away from his client, and so he introduces a new witness, John Shaughnessy. Shaughnessy, I want to say he's the district attorney. He's responsible for prosecuting all the major cases that come before the state, and he's kind of a pivotal figure in the city. But there's this thing in the film where, well, let me show you. Alright, check this out. So he looks back out into the audience, and right here, this is Shaughnessy. And he looks over at this guy, for no particular reason.
Yes, Your Honor. The defense calls John Shaughnessy.
Calls Shaughnessy to the stage.
People object, Your Honor. Mr. Shaughnessy has never been identified as a possible witness.
May I approach?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
So they go and they talk for a minute. He's busy explaining, like, you know, I need to do what I need to do to exonerate my client. And the whole time, just that one quick cutaway to this random extra in the audience, it always struck me as weird. It seemed like there was something more going on. So let's get back into this.
You serve on the board of an organization known as the Russian Foundation.
I have the privilege to be an honorary board member.
Could you briefly explain the nature and purpose of this foundation?
The Russian Foundation was founded by the late Archbishop. Its purpose is to invest in projects for the greater good of the community.
Greater good of the community. Now, would that be true in the case of the now bankrupt South River housing development?
Yes.
Could you tell the court why the South River project was abandoned?
There was a difference of opinion as to the costs.
Isn't there also a difference of opinion between the investors and the late Archbishop himself?
I don't recall.
What? I don't mind talking. How much money, Mr. Shaughnessy, was invested in this failed South River enterprise?
$60 million.
Why?
A lot of money. You and the Archbishop have been friends for, what, 20 years? It's safe to say that the two...
Again, this is his investigative assistant. This is the other attorney who's prosecuting the case. But again, there's that extra that popped up a minute ago. He's featured in the shot, and it feels like they're trying to draw focus to him.
Knew each other really well. I'm sorry. Were you surprised at the content of that tape with Ms. Venables?
Yes, of course I was.
So you never heard any allegations, charges against the Archbishop during that time?
Not that I recall, no.
No, especially since you were the state's attorney for the last 15 years. You care to say that you supervised all the prosecutions in Cook County during that time, especially the prosecutions of all prominent figures.
I also have a staff of 1,000 best prosecutors in the land.
Yeah. As a state's attorney, it was up to you, ultimately, to decide who would be indicted and who wouldn't.
Yes.
Okay, watch this. Watch the framing of what they're about to do. he's going to bring up an old case and watch just sort of the body language that's coming.
All right, let me just take you back. Let's go back to June 1985. Do you recall any allegations of sexual misconduct against the Archbishop at that time?
I don't recall that, no.
Do you recall a young man by the name of Michael O'Donnell who came to the felony review unit?
Look at this frame. Do you recall a young man by the name of Michael O'Donnell who came to the felony review unit? Look at the expression here, the performance that they're pulling. There's a very specific referencing here. Arguably, the director is trying to say, this young man is Michael O'Donnell. We went, we found him, we can call him up and, you know, prove your whole testimony is bullshit. But they never mention Michael O'Donnell before this moment in the movie. They don't show us doing the background research. They don't show them interviewing Michael O'Donnell in the past. They don't reference his case at all until this moment where it suddenly appears in the courtroom. And, I mean, arguably, like, I was okay with it. I figured, you know, Primal Fear is based on a book, older book by William Deal. I hadn't read the book, but I was thinking, you know what, this scene bothers me enough that there's got to be some sort of subplot in the book that they cut for pacing, they focus the narrative, and the choice was made. They reference it, and maybe it's just a fun Easter egg for the people who read the book. So I went and I found the book. Michael O'Donnell is not in the book. This whole scene is not in the book. This was created for the film. And I'm thinking, okay, there must be a deleted scene. There must be something more. Because this obviously is saying there's previous victims of the Archbishop Rushman. There's history to this case. They're building a foundation for something. But what? If a director can just introduce things like this, never reference it before. This character, Michael O'Donnell, is not credited in the film. This actor, whoever he is not credited in the film. The whole thing confuses me. The writers have to have decided, we're going to introduce this, and that was it. Don't get me wrong, the film itself is fantastic. The performances by Edward Norton, the Academy Award nomination, totally well-deserved. But this moment always kind of confused me. So I wanted to put it out there into the world, into the internet, and if you were involved in the making of the film, if you have heard anything about the making of the film, and know anything about this character of Michael O'Donnell, it's something that has bothered me for a good number of years. So hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think. Am I crazy? Like, this frame, that's gotta be saying something, right? I don't know. That's just me. Maybe I spent too much time thinking about movies. Anyway, all the best.